I once read Jesus asked a question in the Gospel of Mark. What do you want me to do for you? What does this question mean? Jesus presented this question to Bartimaeus, the blind man, in response to him crying out and saying, "Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me." While the crowd rebuked Bartimaeus, Jesus asked for him to be brought and asked him, "What do you want me to do for you?" You know what's ironic here is the fact that Jesus presented the same question to James and John, his disciples, just one paragraph before this event took place. And unlike James and John, who asked for special honor, this blind man asked to be healed. His question manifested his belief in Jesus as the Messiah, because Jews believed that only the Messiah was going to make man complete. For this man, being complete meant having vision. What was interesting in this event is not only the miracle of healing that he received, but the way the blind man responded to Jesus. When he was asked to approach Jesus, St. Mark says he threw off his cloak and sprang to Jesus. Throwing off his cloak behind him meant that he left everything that he had and followed Jesus. He didn't follow him by just walking to him. He sprang to him. He ran to Jesus, symbolizing his enthusiasm for the meeting. I think there are some great lessons for us to learn from this blind man. First lesson is to trust that God hears our prayers if we persist, regardless of how noisy the world around us is. Jesus heard this man in the midst of the crowd and called him to himself. Second, we learn from this man what to ask for. Oftentimes, we only ask God for what we want, just like James and John, and not what we need. This man was physically blind and needed God to open up his eyes. Maybe we're not physically blind, but chances are we are spiritually blind and in need of our spiritual eyes to be opened up. Third, we learn from this blind man to surrender to God as he left all he had and ran to him. We also must surrender and run to God. And by doing that, we, like the blind man, experience the manifestation of God